everybody, happy Sunday. Joining you live to talk about moolah and how you can have more of it. So we'll get dived in. That makes no sense. We'll dive in as people get logged in. Hope you've had a wonderful week. I've been for a run today. First run in who am I kidding? I don't think I've ever ran. I hate running. And I said to my husband, like, I'm buying trainers, I've got this Fitbit on my arm, I'm going to start running, I'm going to do it. I need to look after my cardiovascular. And also, any of you that are using these Fitbits, they're amazing, aren't they? But they also, hey Joanne, yeah, as you're logging in, say hashtag live if you're live, hashtag replay if you're watching on replay. Tell me where you are in the world so that I can say hello. Yeah, so these obviously monitor, you can put in the app what you're eating, how many steps you've done, etc. And the more exercise you do, the more you can eat, which has seen me running for the first time in my life. So I'm actually like running for chocolate at the moment, which is new. I ran for 2 miles today. I was really, really impressed with myself. Having never run before, I thought that was quite good. And I've also found, so those of you that have got one of these will know, if you haven't, just get one, you need one in your life. Anybody would think I was being paid to talk about Fitbits, but it's got a relax function on it, which is just awesome because you can hold it down and it will kind of guide you into deep breathing exercises for just 2 minutes. So if you're having a shit day and you can feel the stress levels rising, one of those days that you might be having as a female entrepreneur that's really busy and you start to feel a bit anxious, it's life-changing to just hold your finger on it and just follow it for 2 minutes. I think it's such an incredible function that it's got. So anyway, we digress. Let's talk money. So this training is for you if you are somebody that wants more money to show up for you and you kind of feel like you haven't mastered the game of money yet. You kind of feel like you don't know what the rules are for money. We're going to be talking about the rules, the 5 rules today that can really make a massive difference for you in terms of how much money shows up for you, how you keep hold of your money, the anxiety you experience around money. But more than anything, just reaching your financial goals will be so much easier if you're aware of these rules and you play by them. So give me some hearts if you are somebody that wants more money showing up for you and you want to know what these rules are and you're committed to playing by the rules to see more money show up for you. Because do you know what? Becoming wealthy, it's a commitment to ourselves. It's a commitment to money. It's a commitment to the relationship we have with money. And it's a commitment to working on that relationship constantly so that we can achieve more. So love it, Nadia. Thank you for that. Give me a yes in the chat box, in the comments box, if you're committed to doing that for you. Because I believe that it's easy to be wealthy. I believe that abundance and wealth is meant for every single one of us. You just have to know a few things, not just about business necessarily. Yes, you need to know some things about business and there's some strategy stuff you need to know. But also it's about the way we think about money, the way we act when it comes to the subject of money and the decisions that we make. And this is applicable for anybody, whether you're in business or not. So let's get stuck in. There's 5 things I want to share with you tonight. There's actually 25 rules when it comes to money, but I want to share the first 5 with you today. So rule number 1, money loves purpose. This is the first rule you want to get your head around in the pursuit of wealth. Money loves purpose. Therefore, the rule is we need to give money a purpose if we want to accumulate more of it. Think about it. Think about a time when you've needed money for something in particular. Whether it be a deposit for a house, whether it be you getting married, whether it be, I don't know, buying a new car, whatever it might be, whenever you've given a really strong purpose to money, when it's had a really strong intention behind accumulating it, you've always made it happen. You know, even when your back's been against the wall and you've needed to make a certain amount, you'll find that because it has a strong intention, a strong purpose, you always make it happen. And that's because money loves purpose. When it has a purpose, when it has an intention, it's easier to accumulate it. So what do we do with this piece of information? You need to give every bit of money purpose. Goal setting's amazing, but there's no point in saying, yeah, 10 grand a month would do it. I'd be happy if I got 10 grand a month. Or, hey, Sharon in Gibraltar. So yeah, give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you're watching on replay, tell me where you're logging in from, guys, as you get logged in. So just think about for a minute what you've been saying about your goals. Oh, well, yeah, 10 grand a month's my goal, 5 grand a month's my goal, 20 grand a month's my goal. I'd have enough if I earn X, Y, Z. We need to be more specific than that. We need to give every single penny or cent of our money a strong purpose. So what can you do practically with this information is actually break it down and know this is my goal and this is what I'm going to do with this money when it arrives. And these goals might change all the time. You know, it might be over the next 3 months, what do I really want? What I would love in the next 90 days is a holiday. I'd love to be able to pay for a holiday cash, and this is where I'd like to go. How much is that? There's my first goal. So I like to do this exercise on a monthly basis. So when I'm planning my next month ahead, and I'm setting goals for the month ahead, and I'm looking at the targets I'm giving myself, I'm giving every single pound of my money a purpose. So I'm not saying I'm going after 200 grand this month. I'm saying I'm going after 200 grand this month, and this is what I want to do with that money when it arrives for me. So I'm giving every bit of it a purpose. How much am I going to save? How much am I going to invest? What am I going to invest it in? How much am I going to spend on having fun? And what does that fun look like? Etc. So it's all broken down, and every single bit of it has got a strong intention, a strong purpose. Give me some hearts if you're committed to giving your money a purpose as of today, and no longer just saying I want to earn X amount this month, I want to do this month, but actually knowing where that's going. So give me some hearts if you're committed to doing that. Hey Nikki, hey Tabassum, great to see you. I'm going to stop saying hello to everybody now just so that we can make sure we get through this and I give you guys lots of value. Okay, awesome, Joanne, and I think that was, who else just gave me some hearts to say they're committed? I think it was Sharon. Thanks, Sharon, awesome. Okay, next, number 2, money's like blood. Money's like blood in the sense of it needs to stay in circulation to keep your wealth alive. So I want you to think of money like blood. It needs to be in constant circulation or else it goes stagnant. It can only keep your wealth alive and flourishing if it's in circulation. There's no point in hoarding money. There's no point in saying, okay, I've got X amount sat in the bank, or even setting goals to have X amount sat in the bank to do nothing with. There's no point in having money sat under the bed, doing nothing, just stashing it away with no strong intention. There's no point, and really think about this when you think about money as energy. And if it's a bit woo-woo, I apologise, but I believe it. You know, it's energy, it just is. The universe doesn't know the difference between $1 and $1 million. How we treat $1 will depend on whether $1 million shows up for us. So if you think about money being like blood and needing to stay in circulation and also needing a purpose, when you start looking at things like opening drawers, have I got change thrown in drawers? If I go in my car, have I got change thrown in like a little compartment somewhere here and I don't know how much is in there and it's got no purpose and it's not in circulation because it's just sat there? That's representative of our relationship with money and how we see it and whether we play by the rules with it or not. And it's relevant. It's relevant with $1 like it's relevant with $1 million. You know, don't expect to not get this stuff, only start getting this stuff right when you've got more money to play with. Don't think, oh, well, that circulation one only really applies to me when I've got money to put into circulation, because at the minute everything just goes out and comes in and then goes straight back out because I'm living above the breadline. It still is related to you and it will still show up with you in kind of what's going on in your drawers and your car, etc. So it's about playing by the rules with every penny to show the universe that you're ready for more to show up for you energetically, but also to get used to playing by the rules, because if you don't play by them now, you won't play by them then, and you can still go broke, because, you know, having more money doesn't make your problems any smaller. It just means that you've got more of it to play by the rules with. And if you want to keep thriving in that area and you want to keep growing in wealth, then we have to start doing these things today. So money's like blood, it needs to stay in circulation, whether it be a little bit or a lot. So if we're thinking about, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with saving or having like a warrior line. I have a warrior line. This is another tip for you. Have a warrior line. Have a warrior line of money that you never dip below. Do you know, when I started doing this, my warrior line was like £100 in my bank, because that's all I could afford. I was really like kind of living to my means at that point. So it meant that, you know, rather than going broke every month and getting to the end of every month and draining your bank account, I just made a commitment that £100 was going to be my first warrior line. And that was it. That was enough then I moved it to 200, 300, right up until my warrior line became 100k. So I've got 100k always in one bank account to do what I want with in terms of investment, etc. Now, that's okay. I'm not saying don't save. I'm saying have a warrior line, but recognise that money needs to stay in circulation as well, because it's really, really important. So, you know, recognise that we've got to look at it and go, I got £1,000. What's the best way? If my warrior line's 100 and I've now got £1,000, what is the best way for me to invest this £900 so that I can get more than £900 back for circulating it? Think about it like that. If I've got 10 grand and my warrior line's 5 grand, what's the best thing for me to do with this 5 grand to mean that I get more back when I put it into circulation? And if we don't know the answer to that, that's okay, because you're asking the right question. You're asking the right question about what do I need to do rather than doing nothing. And our life is a sum of the questions we ask and the actions that we take. I say this over and over again because it's true. Don't think, well, I wouldn't know what to do with 900, so I'm already fucked. Think, what questions do I need to ask so that I know what to do with that money to put it into circulation so that more comes back? How do I invest in me? What do I invest in? Do I invest in my knowledge and expanding my knowledge? Do I invest in a coach to point me in the right direction? Do I invest in stocks and shares? When you start asking the right questions, you start finding the answers to the question. Number 3, money is the currency of commitment, and this feeds into investing a little bit and investing in you in terms of self-development. When we commit with money, we are committed. Fact. Think about it like this. Have you ever said, I want to go to Hawaii. I'm going to go to Hawaii. Here's what I've said before. I've said before, I'm going to go to Cambodia and Vietnam. I'm going to travel through Cambodia and Vietnam because I've done some of like Southeast Asia and stuff, and that's on my list. So I'm going to do that. But am I going to do it? I tell you when I know I'm going to do it, when I part with my money. So I've done this recently. When I called the cruise company and said I want to book this cruise down the Mekong River, through Cambodia, through Vietnam, and paid it, I'm going now, right? Because I've committed with my money. Was I going when I was saying I'm going to do that one day? Probably not. Was I going when I was saying I'm going to do that next year? Who knows? But what we know for certain is that when I paid out that money, there is no freaking way I just gave someone 10 grand on a whim to go, I might go. I'm going. I'm there in my head already. I'm planning my diary around it. I'm buying bikinis. I'm thinking about what vaccinations I've got to have. The wheels are in motion and I'm going because I committed with money. Even if I haven't paid for it in full and I just put a deposit down, I've committed with my cash, therefore I am committed. Money is the currency of commitment. What have you committed to with your cash in the dreams that you're pursuing? Because I see this all the time. I'm going to be really successful and I'm going to hire a coach to help me do it. Have you committed? Have you spoke to the coach that you want to work with? And it might not be me, and I'm not offended if it's not me, but have you spoke to the coach that you want to work with and said, I want to work with you, this is my intention to work with you, by this date, can we talk about that? Let's lock this in, and how much can I pay you right now to show my commitment that I'm ready to do it on this date, even if you can't afford the full amount right now? Have you done that? Because here's what I see a lot of, and I'm sorry if you're on the call and you feel called out by this because it's you that I've had a conversation with. But yes, you have, Joanna, high five for that. Joanna, I don't know why I just added an A to your name then. Here's what I see a lot of. I can be on the phone with someone that's called me or messaged me and said, can I have a call with you, or filled in an application form to have a call about working with me to change their life, to change their business forever, increase their income, and do the things that they never thought possible for them. That's what they want when they get on this call with me. And I'm asking them questions. Any of you that have been through this will know. I'm asking them questions like, how much money do you want to earn? When do you want to earn it by? Is that the milestone or is that the destination? What's the destination? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to travel to? How do you want to live your life? How much downtime do you want? I'm really finding out what their dream life looks like because I know it's possible for them. I know it's possible for them because I'm living mine. And it just meant asking the right questions, taking the right action. And I'm listening to understand what do they want and how can I help them get it. Now, if I recognise that they want to build the sort of business and have the sort of goals that I can help them get, then I'm going to talk to them about working with me. If I don't think they were a fit, then I won't. I'll refer them to somebody else, or I'll tell them to come back at another time. But if I feel like we're a fit, then it's because we're a fit, because I don't fucking lie and I don't play when it comes to this stuff. I know if I'm going to help someone get change, and I will commit to that person that we're going to do this. And then they say, how much is it? And when I deliver the price, some people, very rarely, suddenly, their commitment goes from up here to down here. It shows. So one thing I always say to people, always, without fail, before I deliver the price and tell them how much it's going to cost to work with me, the one thing I say to them is, how committed are you on a scale of 1 to 10 to making this dream life that we've just built happen? Seriously. Like 10 being, you're so committed you cannot breathe without it. It means that much to you and you're ready to do whatever it takes. 1 being, do you know what, if it doesn't happen right now, it's no big deal. And they always, always, always say like 9 or 10. And then, when it comes to parting with money being the currency of commitment, they show up at a 1. Because let's face it, right? If you can pay for something on monthly instalments, and you can sell things on eBay and have a declutter of your house and maybe ask some people close to you to invest in you for a couple of months, and if you were really resourceful and you were really committed, you could make it happen for the first couple of months so that you're in a program, in an environment where you can learn, grow, launch and earn more. Of course you could. So I always know it's never about money, it's about commitment, but money just shows me their commitment level. And then if they're not committed enough, I'm backing off, because that's the same commitment that's going to take them through the program with me and my mentorship, and get them overcoming challenges when they come up, because success isn't easy. I'd be a liar if I told you that it was easy. It's not easy. It's meant for you and it's possible, and it can become easy when you know what to do. But first of all, we need to commit. And that might not be with me and my coaching program, but what I'm saying to you is, if you're fucking sat there scratching your head right now, going, I don't know what steps to take every day to be wealthy, I don't know what strategies to implement in my business, then you need to commit with your money to paying somebody to help you to do that, or else you're just going to keep scratching your head. And never, ever, ever in any other industry would you decide that you can go it alone and don't need to learn from somebody. Entrepreneurs get paid way more than doctors, way more than lawyers, way more than some of the top professions that you could have in a job. And those people go to university for years and learn and learn and learn and study their craft to become successful. Yet we slap entrepreneurship in the face every fucking day when you turn around and go, I don't need to learn from anybody. I'm just going to keep downloading freebies, and I'm just going to keep reading a few books, and I'm just going to keep practicing, and I'm going to become good at it, and I'm going to become a millionaire. Because never have I read a book where that's the story, ever. Ever. We've got to be realistic. So commit. Think, what do I need to do next? How do I need to invest myself and commit on a level I never have before? Money's the currency of commitment. Number 4, high income comes from high energy. Fact. I put this on Facebook on my personal profile the other day, and a few people was like, I don't agree with that. And I think we got our wires crossed a little bit. Here's what I'm saying. High income comes from high energy. What I'm not saying is high income comes from positive energy. That's not true. We all know people that are fucking negative and miserable that are rich. We all know people like that. So we can't say that you have to be a positive person to be rich, or that to be positive you need to be rich, because there's no correlation between either of those two things. You can be rich and fucking miserable, and you can be really positive and broke. Those two things are not the sum of each other. They're not even relative. What I said was high income must come from high energy. So here's what I mean by that. What you'll never see is a flat, low energy rich person that doesn't have the energy in the pursuit of wealth, unless they've inherited it, etc. What I'm saying is, we need to go at our work every day with oomph and passion and high energy, believing that we can fucking win that day. We do. We have to. Because if you don't get out of bed with high energy, like, right, I'm gonna slay today, this is my goal for today and I'm gonna smash it, really you're not going to hit it, are you? Therefore, the high income isn't going to come. So it's about bringing our energy up. Now, when I say positive energy, and I talk about positive energy a lot because it's the highest expression of who we are at our core, the people that are negative and accumulate wealth, it's because their core belief is that they can accumulate wealth. Their core belief is that it's easy to make money. Their core belief is that they deserve it. They can be narcissistic as hell and horrible to be around, but their core belief is I deserve wealth, and that's exactly what shows up for them. And their energy is channeled into it showing up for them, and that's why it does. The reason I talk about positive energy is because if you're like me, and I know probably a lot of you are, in the terms of you would not want to be miserable and a narcissist and not have great relationships. You want to be a positive, rich person, a wealthy person that changes lives and that has great morals and values and all of those things. So we need to bring high energy and positive energy to our work, because that's what's going to make us feel good. And when we feel good, we make more money because we're more productive, we're more creative, we're more inspired. You've all had days where you just feel awesome and it's like the hours pass effortlessly and you're lost in your work and you're killing it and everything's working out for you. But then you might have 3 weeks that follow that where you're like, oh, it's fucking shit. And that's because you haven't mastered getting into peak state and raising your energy. My advice is focus on your energy and the money will come. If you can focus on making yourself feel good and channeling energy into making money, the money will come. But we must focus on that first. So what makes you feel good? What increases your energy? What makes you feel high vibe? And I say high vibe, not because you need to be high vibe to be wealthy. There are some low energy people in terms of vibration and in terms of being nice people that are rich. When I say high vibe and high energy, I mean, how can you attack your day with oomph and creativity and feel amazing and alive and like wealth's meant for you? How can you do that? Well, you do that by working harder on your energy than you do on the job and on the problem. Because when we get stuck and lost in problems and trying to work through that, you know, you might be someone sat there thinking, I don't even know what business I want to start. So you get to work on working in the problem. What do I want to start? Maybe brainstorming. And that's not a good idea. But if you're doing it with low energy, nothing works. You would be much better taking yourself off for a couple of hours, doing something that you love, doing something that lights you up, to bring your energy up, and then coming back and doing the brainstorm. Because what you achieve in 10 minutes in that brainstorm versus what you were going to achieve in probably 10 days I've got nothing, will be a phenomenal difference because you've raised your energy first. So high income comes from high energy. It's another rule of money. And number 5, last one out of for today, but there's 25 of these total. I wanted to give you the first 5. So number 5, money loves attention. It's an attention whore. Money loves attention. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you need to take care of it. You need to give it attention and know where it's going in order for more to show up for you. So do you know, let's be really honest with ourselves. In fact, type in the chat box if you feel comfortable. Let's be really honest with ourselves. Do you know, put yes if you know the answer to these questions and put no if you don't. Question number 1, do you know how much money comes into your household per month to the penny? Do you know that? Yes or no, type in the chat box. Most people will know the answer to that. There or thereabouts, they'll know how much is coming in every month. And I mean everything. So if you've got multiple sources of income, your income, husband's income, maybe there's other things that come in from elsewhere. Do you know to the pound? Yes, Joanne, awesome. Nikki, no. Okay. So what that tells us straight away when we answer this is, do we give money attention or not? Money loves attention. It's an attention whore. You're not giving it attention if you don't know how much is coming in. You're not looking at it. You're doing the opposite to giving it attention. You're ignoring it. You're hoping it's going to go away. What does that say about your relationship with money? It says it's shit. If you treated your partner like that and you were like, don't look at him and he'll probably fucking go away, your relationship wouldn't thrive. This relationship won't be thriving. So we need to know the answers to these questions. Question number 2, do you know how much goes out to the pound and where it goes? Or to the dollar, or to the euro, depending on where you are. Do you know how much goes out and where it goes to the dollar, pound or euro? Honestly, type in the chat box yes or no. Most people don't know this. Most people don't have a freaking clue what these figures are. And they don't know because they don't want to look at it. They just go through kind of life letting money seep out with no strong intention. It's unconsciously seeping out, because you're not giving it the attention it deserves, which means you're not in control of it, which means you're not respecting it, which means more will never show up for you. Because if you're stood outside in the garden barefoot at one with nature every day going, money flows to me easily and effortlessly, I want more money, and you're doing all these mantras and then getting pissed off with why it's not showing up for you, this is why. Because if you're stood there saying that, but then in your day-to-day way of being, you're not respecting money. It's giving the universe mixed signals. So don't be shocked when mixed results show up for you. You know, if you're taking care of your money and you're giving it attention and you know where it's being spent and you have a strong intention for everything that it's being spent on and you're in control of it, where focus goes, energy flows, and what we focus on we get more of. So if we're focusing on something growing and we're watching it grow, we're going to get more of it. It's going to grow easier. Money loves attention. Give it attention. Don't ignore it. Don't treat it like a bad friend that you don't want to talk about, talk about over the dinner table because it's a bit taboo. All these things telling us, if you've thought like this, that you've got a poor relationship with money, it's time to sort that out and start to really give it attention and nurture it. Last question. Do you know what percentage you should be spending on each area of your life from your total income every month? What it should be there or thereabouts, what wealthy people work to. What I mean by this is, there's a very clear percentage that should go out on things like essentials, monthly bills. There's a clear percentage that should be on that. Clear percentage for investment, a clear percentage for having fun, a clear percentage for saving, a clear percentage for clearing debt if you're in debt. It's all there in a wealth blueprint. It's actually in my book, and this isn't a shameless pitch to buy my book or else you're never going to know the answer. But it's there. I'm not the only person to write about it. If you've read my book and skimmed over it and not actually made time to measure your figures against it, do it. Just do it, because it will change your life. Because once you know what those percentages are, you can say, okay, I'm overspending in this area of my life. What can I do to make myself smaller in this area? Or I'm underspending in this area of my life. I should be investing more and spending less on this. I can see now why money's not showing up for me. It's just simple maths. But unless you know what it is, you can't change it. The first step is awareness. So really do that exercise. Joanne, you said no. Joanne is a client of mine, which is why I'm saying this to Joanne. Joanne, you also get access to the Women's Wealth Academy because you're an accelerator client. So yes, Mirav, you went through the academy model. So in the academy, it talks you through this step by step. It gives you templates on how you can, you can fill it all in and get all organised, and it shows you the percentages, which yes, you know, Mirav, awesome, well done. So you guys that are in the academy, absolutely go and do those exercises in there. If you're not, and you want to maybe read the book to get the answers to that, then do that. And obviously type any questions that you've got below. And that's number 5, money loves attention. So, and that's 5 of 5 for tonight. I hope that's really helped you and give you an insight in some of the things that you could be doing so that more money shows up for you. Honestly, you understand the rules of money, master the game of money, and it will make you rich. Someone once said to me when I was starting out in entrepreneurship, Michelle, if you wanted to be a doctor, you'd study medicine. If you wanted to be a lawyer, you'd study law. If you want to be rich, you study fucking money. It was the best advice that anybody ever gave me. I've done nothing but be a money geek since. And shock horror, money shows up for me like from unexpected places all of the time. I just get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and it's become effortless, and that is a good feeling. And it's for 2 reasons. 1, I've worked on this, I've mastered the game of money, and 2, I know how to implement a business strategy online that works. And it's those 2 things simultaneously that you need: strategy and money mindset. And it's a perfect program. Thank you, Mirav. Thank you for that. Lots of love. Mwah.